It's a snowy Sunday in Oklahoma, and I'm making bossam from the Momofuku cookbook. You may be familiar with this recipe if you ate dinner at someone else's house 10 years ago, because there was a big trend. Lots of people were making this at dinner parties. The New York Times published an article called The Bossam Miracle that really hyped it up, but it is actually a really delicious, easy to make dinner for an army, which obviously I'm not making dinner for an army. We're still in quarantine. But the other day I made some carnitas with pork shoulder, and I basically just cut off the part of the shoulder that didn't have bone in it, and I used that, and I froze the rest of the shoulder and decided to make like a mini bossam for just me and the fam. I mean, that being said, this is like 6 pounds of pork. Last night I dry brined this piece in about half a cup of sugar and half a cup of kosher salt. And I have the oven already set to 300. It's gonna cook for a long time, so this is kind of early in the day. The idea of the Korean bossam is basically like a lettuce wrap where you have some, shredded pork, or there are lots of different sams, but this particular one is shredded pork and, rice and a few different sauces, kimchi, sam sauce, and because it's from the Momofuku cookbook, the Momofuku green scallion, or what is it? Ginger scallion sauce, duh. And you just basically like sit at the table with your friends or your family and make little lettuce wraps with all the ingredients, and it's fun. I'm popping this in the 300-degree oven, and I'm gonna come back to it and baste the juices over the top like every once in a while. With the 10-pound pork shoulder, it usually cooks for 6 hours. I'm gonna keep checking on it. I'm guessing it's gonna cook through a little bit quicker than that, like maybe 5 hours. Still has a bone in the middle of it. But we will see what it's looking like later on. So keep in mind there will be some basting and stuff, and you're gonna see it hours and hours later. All right, it has been several hours of cookery, of pork all day, smelling really good. I've got my sous chef Theo here with me, and we are going to make a couple of the accompaniments for the bossam while it's still cooking. I don't think it's quite ready to pull out of the oven. So let's get some stuff that we need out for the sam sauce. We need gochujang and samjang, if I'm saying those things correctly, hopefully. We need lots of scallions, which are in here somewheres. Here we are. And we need ginger and a little bit of light soy sauce. Can you take all these things to the main table? That would be awesome. We do need sherry vinegar. No, this the cooking area. Sorry, I don't know why we've never come up with a word for that place.
Cutting board.
Yeah.
How about cutting area?
Cutting area. That works for me. All right, for the sam sauce, we're gonna use a tablespoon of samjang, which is a fermented bean paste. So can you measure that out? Can you get 1 tablespoon? And you can use this, you don't have to be super precise, but you can use this to, take the extra off. Oh, we're using the side of the container. That's actually the way to go. That was a good instinct. And you can also use this to get it out. Cool.
Kind of looks like pork.
Kind of looks like pork. Boy, I want to eat that pork. That looks like good pork. AB baby, he just did a pull-up on this. Grab this. It's supposed to be half a tablespoon of gochujang to the tablespoon of samjang. I'm just sort of guesstimating.
Well, who knows if you're right or wrong.
If you're right, you're wrong. You heard it here, folks.
Well, that's a small bit of sauce.
Well, so we're gonna add to that.
Okay.
We're gonna add some oil, and we're gonna go with neutral oil. like a quarter of a cup. And there's sherry vinegar in this, a quarter of a cup of sherry vinegar. We're gonna need a fork. Can you grab a fork and
Yes.
we'll see if we can mash this up.
Here's a fork.
Sweet. All right. Now, can you kind of use the fork to try to break up the goop and incorporate the liquid into it? Is that?
Yes.
Are you making something? Can I taste it?
Can I taste it? Mmm.
Yeah, keep working on it. There you go. While you're doing that, I'm gonna wash these scallions. We need to check on the pork.
How's this? Am I a good chef?
Actually, we need to also get the rice going. That's great. Thank you very much. Let's check on the pork real quick.
It's good. Perfect.
We've been basting this with sauce from time to time, or just the pan drippings, not sauce. You're supposed to be able to like put a knife in and for it to go in very easily, which I still feel like it's not quite there. So let's baste it one more time. I did not slice these very thinly.
Okay.
Just trying to get it done.
I feel like I might have meat in that. Meat sauce is enough.
Aperitivo or?
Hey, could you help me peel this?
Yes.
Do you know how to peel ginger with a spoon? You just hold it and push away and peel the skin off. You want to hold the spoon the other direction. There you go. And you just sort of move on to the next spot where it's not bare. Yeah.
That back up. Kind of slice the ginger. Need to patch that back up.
Here, let me see.
How did I do?
You did a really good job.
Thank
I just
you.
want to show you that you can take whole swaths off and not have to worry about all those little things. But it's a little easier when you have a bit more height on the counter.
Okay.
All right, what are we looking like here? Good. Good.
So is that part of the salad?
This is the ginger scallion sauce.
Okay.
So this meal has like 3 sauces. There's the som sauce, kimchi, like a kimchi sauce, and this ginger scallion
Never heard of
sauce.
kimchi sauce.
Kimchi sauce. Oh, this also has a quarter of a cup. Maybe I'll actually try to be a little more. I'm not sure I guessed correctly what a quarter of a cup was out of this jug a minute ago. Wasn't too far off, but I went a little over. A teaspoon and a half of light soy sauce. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of sherry vinegar, but we're just gonna taste and see how we like it. And then some kosher salt.
New, we have to put salt in something if we want to make it taste good.
That's true. We're also putting the soy sauce in here, so there's a bit of salt already. Just a matter of how much salt do we need. usually a lot. Doesn't need anything. Yeah, that's about right. You want to taste it, or it's not spicy. It's just sort of gingery and oniony. You want to try a little bit? You can kind of imagine that how it'll be good on some pork, right? Cool. All right, so let's puree a little bit of kimchi, so we can turn kimchi into a sauce. All right, this kimchi is actually from the Momofuku recipe, which is not a super authentic Korean recipe, but it's something that I really enjoy having around, and I eat it on everything.
Yeah, I don't really eat kimchi, but sometimes I kind of like it on grilled cheese sandwiches. You might want to try that anyways.
You have liked it on grilled cheese sandwich. You want to flip it up? Yeah, go for it. Just to give it enough liquid to...
I smell the kimchi again.
How do you feel about that?
Doesn't smell too good, but it tastes good.
Doesn't smell too good, but it tastes good.
Nose, but trust your mouth.
Well, so the weird thing is that after you trust your mouth for a while, your nose starts coming around being like, I kind of like the smell of that. That doesn't quite achieve the idea of puree, but it's definitely...
Sauce.
Yes. To which we will add a little bit of non-chopped. All right.
It kind of smells good, actually.
So we'll put the sauces in something nice for the table. We're waiting on the pork still. Let's check one more time and see what that's looking like. Well, that feels really close. I just want to give it 10 more minutes. Sorry, guys. All right.
So you put it in about 1.
I put it in about 1. Yeah, it's been going for a while. That's...
You said it would be about 5 hours.
Yeah, it's normally 6 hours for a big one, and so I thought a small one would cook faster, but I was wrong about that. All right, well, I'm going to clean up a little bit, and we'll come back to you.
Yep. But see you later.
All right, we've got the pork out of the oven. It's nice and jiggly and wiggly, and the knife goes through. And we're gonna make a little sugar and salt crust for it, and I turned the oven up to 500. Remember, we're doing like a smaller bit of pork than the recipe calls for, and the recipe calls for finishing with 7 tablespoons of dark brown sugar and a tablespoon of salt, of kosher salt. I'm just gonna use what we have here and wing it. That seems like a lot for our chunk of pork. It's pretty dried out sugar too. Might have to add a little of the juices. Yeah, like I said, this is pretty dried out dark brown sugar. The recipe doesn't call for using the juices in this way, but I find that like making a paste out of it assists in getting it to stick. He was singing a song about Dada. He was ready to eat, by the way. He has climbed up into his chair. Poor kid. If you want to eat, you're living in the wrong house. You gotta wait. I might just get the light brown out. Ugh, and I've already sullied my spoon. See if I can just shake it out. I don't want to get another spoon. Oh, fuck. That didn't touch, I promise. much salt. Mainly you just want to make sure the top is nicely coated because the fat there turns really crispy and that becomes the kind of crusty bit that everyone starts working. And by everyone, I mean just my family because of COVID. 500 degrees. We're gonna put it in there for 10 or 15 minutes. Check on it after like 10. You don't want it to scorch, but you want a crispy crust. All right, we'll look at it then. All right, I think the meat is ready to come out. Got a little dark on the edge, but otherwise nice and golden. I'm just gonna take it straight to the table. I'm just trying not to get my pot holders into the sauce. There we go. All right, so here's the whole shebang. You got the lettuce, and you take a little rice, if you feel like it. And yeah, you just get some of that pork candy. That's a big old chunk of it. And I'm feeling like having kimchi on this one. Maybe with a little bit of this bossam sauce. Oh.
I'll get plates.
Mmm. Mmm. A plate is very necessary. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this month of Love Tasting. Come again.